Or
There
do
we
your
go. All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
All right. And can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. So as Taylor kind of said, I'm Jacob Wathen. I'm a real estate agent with Uptown Properties. And I'm excited to talk to you guys a little bit about the March market update. You know, could pretty much just end it here by saying it's definitely a seller's market, but let's kind of go into the details of it. Yeah, so total active listings. This right now at March of 2021, we're at 2,918 total active listings. And you can kind of see that that's been consistent over the past 4 months. So March, February, January, and December have all kind of been really consistent. And we've only got about a 1% decrease from February of this year to March. And the total active listings decreased by 2,677 from March of 2020 to March of 2021. So really significant decrease there, but we know that inventory is low. That's not going to be a surprise to anybody that's in the real estate world in general. So yeah, so the interesting part here, kind of looking at these numbers, is that we did still see a really significant increase in new listings that came on the market from February to March. So you can see that here. February of 2021 to March, we saw a pretty big spike. It was a 40.1% increase from February to March. And we are right on track with the last 2 years. So the 2019 and 2020 number points, I guess, line points are really right in that exact same area. So this is kind of that split that happened last year between what was typical, which is kind of more like the 2019 projection, versus what a pandemic caused, which is what happened in 2020. So really significant drop in new listings coming on the market that happened through July. And we're still kind of playing catch up from this significant decrease in new listings that came on the market. But yeah, I do think that assuming the vaccine rollout goes well and interest rates remain low, we are definitely going to be seeing something closer to the 2020 or 2019 line, and probably a little bit higher in terms of new listings coming on the market. Yeah, just because of all that backlog. All right, and pending sales. There were 3,346 pending sales in March of 2021, which is a 42.6% increase from March last year, and a 51.5% increase from February, so just last month. So major spike in pending sales, more so than in 2019 and 2020. Just really showing the uncharacteristic buyer demand. This spring is going to be a good one. All right, and closed sales. So I think we've all kind of understood as well that the closed sales did decrease last year around March, April, May, June, and kind of skyrocketed in July when interest rates were really low and people started listing their homes a little bit more. So there was a lot of closings that occurred over the last 8 months. And we're still kind of on track. We're still higher than we have been in the past 5 years in terms of closed sales each month. All right. And then the average and median sale price. I think this is another one that most people in the real estate world are aware of. The sale prices keep going up. We're still really high when it comes to 2021 to 2020 or 2020 to 2021 through March. The average sale price increased 16.6% from $461,600 to $538,200. And then in the same comparison, the median sale price increased 14.9% from $415,000 to $477,000. So as we know, these numbers are great for sellers, but buyers might be a little bit discouraged looking at these numbers. But it really just gets me encouraged to talk to my previous buyers and encourage them to, you know, maybe consider selling, especially if they're not super happy in their current living situation. One example would be my own. I recently did comps on my property, and we purchased about 9 months ago. And in that time, we received about a $50,000 increase in equity just in 9 months, which is crazy. Now, we're not in the position that we want to sell, but if we were, we'd be able to capitalize on having this great market. But it just gives me a reminder to connect with my clients that have purchased a home in the last 3 years and see if, maybe they want to either level up, or maybe they're in a difficult financial situation, so it might make more sense for them to sell now. There's a variety of reasons, but another thing that kind of prompted me to think about this is one of my neighbors let me know that he's only been in his home for a little over a year, but he doesn't really like it very much. He's also in a financial position where he'd prefer to sell than stick around for any longer. And he feels embarrassed, so he hasn't even talked to his real estate agent about it, which is really unfortunate for that real estate agent. And they really need to, connect with their client and make sure that they're the first ones that they talk to. But yeah, and then moving into average total market time. Again, we have been consistently really low in terms of days on market for the last year overall. Part of this is because of really, really just low inventory, and then some of it is just really interesting. So yeah, so based February 2021 to March, we decreased by 5 days to 37 days. And it is pretty exciting. The jump from March 2020 to March 2021 is also really significant. And inventory in months, we are back to 0.8 months, which is what we were at in December, and everything was kind of shocking. I think everyone was like, wow, we put a 0.8 month up there. That's insane. And here we are back at 0.8 months, even though we have seen a lot more listings coming on the market. And then this is just the overview of the residential highlights. Two things I wanted to point out here. One that most agents and buyers likely know is that there have been less homes coming on the market, but more homes going pending and closing. So 4.5% decrease in new listings, but a 14.3% increase in pending sales and 7.3% increase in closed sales. And then the other thing is that there's a 39.1% decrease in the average days on market from last year to this year. And then compared to February for small multifamily statistics in the Portland metro area, we had a 31.8% increase in small multifamily transactions that closed in March, went from 44 to 58. And most of the properties are selling for close to what they're listed for, except for this one owner carried contract, which is always exciting to see, that actually sold for 87% of the original list price. And it was on the market for 129 days. So it sounds like someone got creative and was trying to connect with a listing that just wasn't selling, and they got creative with financing. So that's pretty awesome to see. Yeah, and that's everything, guys. So let me know if you have any questions.